Okay, everyone, welcome to our 21-day brain healthy nutrition kickoff call. Challenge kickoff call, right? I missed a word in there. Yes. And before we get started, I'm going to pray. So let's go ahead and do that. Dear Abba Father, thank you for your word. Thank you for your creation. Thank you for our bodies. Thank you for our brains. Thank you for giving us everything we need in your word and in creation to live a healthy, godly life. And Father, I ask that you would join us today, that you would pour your spirit upon us. I ask that you would give me words of wisdom and clear speech and a calm mind and lots of grace as I share what you've taught me from your word and from science about the brain and about nutrition, and help me and use me to draw these ladies to you and to help them live a God-honoring life and to help them fuel their brains and their bodies with food that is healthy and nutritious. Father, I just thank you and I praise you and I worship you and I give you all the glory. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Okay, let me go ahead and share my screen. And before I hit record, I was telling these ladies on the call that I have 47 slides to share with you today. Um, I don't know if I can do 47 slides in 1 hour. So if you're watching live, I already told them this, but if you're here live and you need to go before we're over, it's okay. You can come back and watch the ending later. If you're
Mhm.
watching this on replay, you may want to hit doubles, like 1.5 speed or double speed if you have, want to get through it a little bit faster. But still taking notes or still like you want to be able to do it where you can pay attention. Like, don't do it double speed if you can't then understand and pay attention, obviously. Don't do it just to do it. Oh, look, I found my first error.
Uh-oh.
Cindy Stewart Ministries presents. It's okay. Not a big one. Um, So we are talking about brain healthy nutrition and we're doing a 21-day challenge. So I have all the information we need to know today. And I'm excited to go through this with you. So let's go ahead and get into it. So today I'm going to be discussing why do we want to choose brain healthy nutrition? I'm going to give you 16 principles. I'm going to address some common negative self-sabotaging, God-limiting thoughts and beliefs. I'm going to give you a 7-day sample meal plan. And for those of you in the challenge, I will send recipes and like on paper later on. That is not done yet. And then we'll just talk about what does the 21-day challenge look like, and then there'll be question and answers at the end. Okay. Why do we want to choose brain healthy nutrition? Well, if you know me and you know my Cindy Stewart Ministries, you know that I like to combine biblical truth and brain science. So, in figuring out why, we're going to look at both. So, let's look at the Bible first. And first, we're going to answer the question, what does the Bible say about our bodies? And 1 Corinthians 6:19 and 20 teach us that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. They are not our bodies, even though the world wants to tell us they're yours. You can do whatever you want with it. They are not our bodies. They belong to God. And He is telling us that we are to glorify Him with our bodies as our physical bodies and treat them like temples. And when I think of a temple, I think of what Solomon used when creating the first temple of God. Like he used the very best, most beautiful, strongest materials. He had them shipped in. He gave that temple everything and like did his very best to give it its the best that he could. And that's how we are to treat our bodies as temples, not garbage cans, not shacks, but temples. And then Romans 12:1, it teaches us that we are to present our physical bodies. The word body in Romans 12:1 is considered it's the Greek word for your physical body. We are to treat our physical bodies as a living sacrifice to God. You are to sacrifice and give up your fleshly desires for God's desires. This living sacrifice is a continuous, ongoing commitment and lifestyle. And then First Corinthians 10:31 tells us that we are to glorify God in all that we do. And it says, whatsoever you do, including what you eat and drink, and it's talking about maybe something else, but it says all that you do. And so all that you do includes what you eat and drink. It does not exclude that. It includes that. And it includes food and nutrition and health in your body. It includes all those things. We are to glorify God in how we do those things. And just as a side note, this PowerPoint will be sent to you. So just if in case you wanted to know that. Okay, what else does the Bible say? Well, it says in Genesis 1:29, when he was talking to Adam and Eve, it says, God gave us every plant yielding seed and every tree yielding fruit as food for us to eat. So God originally planned for us to eat seeds and fruit from the trees and from the plants. But then in Genesis, after the choice of Adam and Eve and sin and the fall of man, he did give us permission to eat meat along with the plants. And again, he reiterates that in First Corinthians. Proverbs 25:27 tells us it's not good to eat much sweet food. God does give us honey. Honey is something natural, but we are not to eat too much of it.
Mm.
Proverbs 23:21 and 21 tells us we are not to overeat and be gluttonous eaters or drinkers. 1 Timothy 4:4 says that everything God created as food is good. Doesn't say everything man created as food is good, but everything God created as food is good. And remember that he originally created, what did he create as food? Seeds and every tree yielding fruit as food, right? That was what he originally created as food. And then 1 Corinthians 10:2, you may be allowed to eat anything you want, but not everything that you want is good or beneficial for you. I might have some more. You probably didn't know that the Bible talked this much about food and about our bodies, did you? So God designed the food that he created not only to nourish us, but also to heal us regularly and abundantly. And we find that in Ezekiel. Matthew 6:25 teaches us that we should not be anxious, which starts in our minds, right? About what we eat and drink, because life is much more than food. So we shouldn't have worrying, anxious thoughts about food playing over and over and over in our head. Instead, we know that, everyone here has been through my book. We know that for peace, we need to keep our minds on him and to think on things above. Colossians 2:16, we are not condemned for what we eat or drink. So we are not to feel guilty and shamed and condemned for what we eat or drink. Acts 27, proper nourishment is important for strength and well-being. Interesting, right? Um, Deuteronomy 5 and 1 John 2, we are not to love and desire food and drink more than we love and desire God.
Mm.
That's like one that goes always to like just like, and what does that mean to love and desire? When you love and desire something, you think about it, right? You long for it. You want it all the time. Are we thinking and desiring and craving food or certain types of food more than God?
Mm.
And are we saying things like, I can't give this up, or I could never give this up, or I could never give this up? What if God asked you to? Would God's desires for you be more important than your desires? And then Romans 14:17, God's kingdom, it's not a matter of eating, drinking. So God's, his intended kingdom, the way he wants us to live, it's of righteousness, peace, and joy. That's what our focus should be. Oh, yay, we have Mearshad. Okay. Hi, Mearshad. I just got
Hello.
hey, and we're on a couple slides in. So, um I'm glad you're here though. It's good to see you or hear you.
Same here.
All right, there you are. Okay. What does the Bible say about brain health? And you're probably thinking, Cindy, the Bible doesn't talk about the brain. Ooh, I would love to tell you what the Lord has revealed to me. So, God created our brains as the head of our bodies, just as he declared Christ as the head of the spiritual body. So when we look at that analogy of Christ as the head, that teaches us things about our brain as the head. So in Colossians 1:18, the head has authority, supremacy, and preeminence over the body. In Ephesians 1:22 and 23, the head has authority over the body for the body's benefit, and the body is made full and complete by the head. Ephesians 4:15 and 16, the head makes the whole body fit together perfectly. It helps the other parts grow so that the whole body is healthy and growing. In Colossians 2:19, the head holds the body together, gives it strength, and causes it to grow. So just as we honor Christ as the head of our spiritual body, and we give him authority, and we give him supremacy, and we give him preeminence, meaning that he's most important, that's how we should honor our brains as the head of our physical bodies. We should give our brains preeminence and supremacy and authority. And when the Lord showed me that, that was kind of like an aha moment. I was like, wow, that's so interesting. Because a lot of times we give other things, like we might say our heart is most important, or we might say that our gut health is most important, or our weight loss is most important. But here, our brains are most important.
Mm.
So let's move on to, so we went over what the Bible says about the importance of health and nutrition in our bodies and our brains. Let's talk about what brain science teaches us. So our brains are involved in everything. Your thoughts, your feelings, emotions, words, actions, behaviors, habits, character, intelligence, hormones, immunity, digestion, everything. Your brain is also vulnerable. So it's only 2% of your body weight. So think of that. Your brain is 2% of your whole body's weight. Yet it uses 20% of the energy. And because it uses 20% of the energy or the calories, that's what the energy is, that's calories is what we use. It's highly sensitive to any inflammation or toxins or blood sugar swings or nutritional deficiencies. It's it's highly sensitive to these things because it's using so much of our energy, of our calories. But the good news is that our brains are changeable. Neuroplasticity teaches us that you are not stuck with the brain you have. Your brain can change, it can grow, and it can heal. And God created it that way. So what does this have to do with nutrition? Well, food literally fuels our brains. So neurons need a constant stable supply of glucose from healthy fats and healthy carbohydrates to function. Poor fuel is going to equal poor performance. When you feed your brain sugar-laden or ultra-processed foods, cognitive performance drops. Nutrition also affects your mood and your mental health. Nutrients like you get in, B vitamins and magnesium and omega-3s, they're essential for producing and balancing the brain chemicals like serotonin and dopamine that we talk all about all the time that regulate your mood and your mental health. So if you're not getting enough of these nutrients in your foods, then you're not able to produce these chemicals to help you to feel the peace and the happiness and the joy and like the calm. Yeah. So, the gut and the brain are connected very closely. They're interconnected through the vagus nerve, and they constantly send signals back and forth. So, if you have a poorly nourished gut, or you're eating foods that are, from highly processed or sugar that is really messing up your gut, well, that's increasing inflammation not only in your gut, but also your brain because they are connected. And it can lead to brain fog, anxiety, depression, and memory issues. Blood sugar is also very important to your brain. Brain health thrives on a balanced blood sugar. Spikes and crashes from sugar or refined foods impair your memory, focus, and emotional stability. Balanced meals with protein, fiber, and healthy fats protect the brain from these damaging swings. Nutrition also builds and protects your brain cells. So your brain is made up of 60% fat. The solid part of your brain is 60% fat. And it needs healthy fats to repair and regenerate cells that are made out of this fat. Protein is essential for your neurotransmitter production. Your brain's messengers, dopamine, serotonin, norepinephrine, are made from amino acids found in protein-rich foods. So your brain needs protein. Your brain needs healthy fats. Getting enough high-quality protein supports mental clarity, emotional stability, focus, and motivation. Antioxidants, which you find in fruits and veggies, they protect your brain from stress and from slow aging. So all these different parts of healthy nutrition are vital to the health of your brain. And again, the health of your brain, the function of your brain controls every aspect of your life and controls the rest of your body. So here I have 16 brain healthy nutrition principles. And I'm not going to read them all right now because we're going to go through each of them. So number one is start with the Daniel fast. And all three of you on here did the Daniel fast or did a version of the Daniel fast or your own version. And for those of you who haven't done a Daniel fast, the purpose is one, to seek the Lord, to get spiritual wisdom and to draw closer to him and to have like this spiritual and physical reset. It's modeled after Daniel's choice to honor God when he went to Babylon. And it really deepens our dependence on God and gives us spiritual clarity and makes us rely on him as opposed to especially certain foods. But in addition to that, it's also helping us eliminate these possible allergen and irritants that could be damaging our brain and our gut and our bodies, like sugar, like gluten, like dairy, like processed foods, animal protein, things like that. So doing a Daniel fast can calm inflammation, stabilize our blood sugar, and help clear brain fog. It floods your body with nutrients that support energy, focus, and emotional resilience. Anyone on the call want to actually share something they learned from doing the Daniel fast? Would anybody be willing? I see Wendy searching for the mute button.
Yes. Um, Something that I learned, well, I would say I don't know so much I learned, but it was a great opportunity for me to get back into sacred. And I did more than just food. I integrated other things, like the removal of TB and those kind of things that were often distractions, or I found were things that if after a long day, exhausted, and I just wanted to, decompress, TV or something along that lines was usually what I would go to as a way to just kind of veg out. So during the 21-day Daniel fast, I was eliminating those things and instead going to the Word
Yeah.
and spending time with the Lord really drew me closer back to Him, and allowed for some breakthroughs for me and got me back into more sacred rhythms of which left me feeling just feeling better overall, in body, mind, and spirit. So
Thank you. Thank you for sharing.
you're welcome.
So personally, I found so I've done something very similar to this other times, and I never found this out before, and I found something out that shocked me and that I'm still coming to terms with and still kind of wrestling with the Lord about. So I found that animal protein is not necessarily good for my gut, and it's kind of slowing down my digestive system and causing constipation. And I've been having a lot of serious digestive issues in the last 2 years. And so I feel the Lord through this and through other things. I feel the Lord calling me to become vegan. But I told him that it's going to take some time and that, but so I'm working on that. But, it's because once I removed it and I came back, I saw a difference in my digestion and yeah. But I know other people, they found that, sugar really made them tired. Some people saw gluten and dairy really made them bloated, or some people found that eating just, removing most of these things really lowered their heart rate. So, better sleep, better energy, all these things. They had some really big breakthroughs doing the Daniel fast. So, if you've never done a Daniel fast and you're interested in it, let me know because I can help you through it. I have a whole big guide to give you. Okay. So once you've done the Daniel fast, if you're choosing to do that, here are the other principles. So continually work on your mindset. Everyone doing this, everyone involved in this has gone through my book, which talks all about biblical mindset and taking our thoughts captive and creating a happy, healthy mind. So it's important that you really think about your thoughts and your feelings during this period of time and about the food you're eating, about what you're eating, because your thoughts and feelings shape your choices. It shapes your habits, your long-term success. So you really need to kind of be aware and make sure that you're, taking your thoughts captive. So intentionally fill your mind with the truth and goodness of God's word using the scriptures that I've already provided. Take your negative thoughts captive, and when you have these negative emotions come up, make sure that you're exploring, okay, where are these coming from? We know that these emotions come from thoughts and beliefs. Replace guilt, shame, and all or nothing thinking. We'll talk a little bit more about that with grace, progress, and purpose. And focus on how the food helps your brain, body, mood, and energy feel instead of just, you know, what you're missing out on or what everyone else is eating or weight loss or something like that. And then I love a quote from Dr. Amen. He tells you to get curious, not furious. So when you do end up making a choice that maybe you weren't planning to make, instead of getting mad at yourself, and telling yourself you're a failure, get curious, make it a learning experience. What led to this? How did it make me feel? How can I, what can I do next time? So make it a learning process and get curious and not furious. Okay, prioritize healthy sleep. Um, Sleep and nutrition go hand in hand. When you get healthy sleep, it helps your nutrition, and when you eat healthy, it helps your sleep. Um, on the other hand, when you have unhealthy sleep, it negatively affects your brain, making it harder to make good decisions about what you're eating and to use good judgment about what you're eating and to exhibit self-control. Unhealthy sleep or not enough sleep also negatively affects your hunger hormones. So you have hormones that are in charge of when you get hungry and when you feel full, and then also insulin, right? With blood sugar. So if you these hunger hormones are out of whack because you're not getting sleep, and sleep is when they're balanced, then you're going to feel hungry more all the time. And then when you're eating, you're not going to feel full. You're not going to feel satisfied and you're going to want to eat more. So sleep really, really is important to having good, healthy nutrition. So make sure you prioritize both sleep and nutrition. Hydrate your brain. Your brain itself is 80% water. Think of that. Normally we think of the brain like that pink gooey stuff. I don't know. It's not gooey, but you picture a brain and it's pink and it's like jello-y like 80% of your brain is water. So even just a little bit of dehydration is going to have an effect on your mood, your focus, your memory, everything you do. And water is what helps because water is what blood is made of, right? So water helps to deliver nutrients, it helps remove toxins, and it helps keep your brain cells firing. The goal is to get half your body weight in ounces. So if you're 200 pounds, you're trying to drink 100 ounces a day. That's the start point. Um, Now, if you're getting a lot less and you need to work your way up there, that's fine, but eventually you want to get to half your body weight in ounces. And I encourage you to drink water first thing in the morning. to help flush out toxins that your brain and your body have processed overnight. So when we did our sleep challenge, we learned that when we're sleeping, our brains collect the trash, right? And then when you drink water in the morning, that's like taking the trash out to the big trash can outside because it's like flushing it out. And then swap sugary drinks for water with lemon, berries, or herbs to make it more enjoyable. You want to consume enough high quality calories. You're going to hear lots of people say calories in equals calories out. And I want you to make sure that you understand that both the quantity and the quality of your calories matter. And like we said, your brain is 2% of your body weight, but it uses 20% of your body's energy. Your brain needs steady fuel. It needs calories to function well. And oftentimes in today's culture, like today's especially diet culture, they teach you to reduce calories. They teach you to cut calories. They teach you to eat 1,200, 1,400 calories or less. And that is not enough. It will initially help you lose weight, but that's not our goal. First of all, our goal is to honor God, and our goal is to have healthy brains. And that amount of calories is not going to give you enough nutrients for your brain to function optimally. You need more than that. So make sure that you are eating enough. If you're eating too little, you're going to experience brain fog, you're going to experience anxiety, you're going to be irritable, you're going to hate life, and you're going to have hormonal imbalances. So avoid the low-calorie fad diets that deprive your brain. And when you are choosing what you eat, focus on nutrient-dense foods. So this is the high-quality part, right? Make sure you're not, because if you just said calories in, calories out, it wouldn't matter if it was processed food or whole foods. That's not true. Processed foods and whole foods are, a French fries from McDonald's are going to do something different for your brain than broccoli, right? If I ate the same amount of calories of both, they're going to have different effects. So make sure the calories you're eating are high quality, that they are nutrient dense, that they're providing something good. It's nourishing your brain, not harming it. Speaking of harming, limit harmful foods and additives. Notice I didn't say remove, limit. Okay. This includes ultra processed foods and artificial sweeteners and additives that can impair your brain function and mood, excess sugar and refined carbs that spike your blood sugar, increasing inflammation and brain fog, too much caffeine and alcohol, which disrupts sleep and your neurotransmitters and mental clarity, seed oils. And seed oils are, so anything like vegetable oil. So like if you have the generic vegetable oil, but then also canola, corn, cottonseed, soybean, safflower, sunflower. Those are going to give, they're high in omega-6s, which can lead to inflammation and can promote oxidative stress and damage your brain cells. So, in addition to these things that you want to limit, when you were doing the Daniel fast, anything that you found that, was an allergy or an irritant like gluten or dairy or sugar or animal protein like me, like that's something that you need to continue to limit or maybe even remove depending on the severity of the allergy. Okay, you want to eat a rainbow of vegetables and fruits. So aim for 5 to 8 servings of vegetables and fruits a day. It can boost your mood. One study even shows that the more fruits and veggies you eat, up to 8 servings, the happier you feel, like instantly, not like over time. The study showed like actually instantly. So the different colors indicate diverse nutrients and antioxidants that support brain health and reduce inflammation. Brightly colored fruits and veggies promote or provide vitamins like C, E, and folate, which are essential for cognitive function. Phytochemicals and colorful produce protect brain cells from oxidative stress and improve memory. And eating a variety of fruits and vegetables ensure a broad range of fiber, and fiber is so important, supporting gut health and the gut-brain connection. So when you're choosing your 5 to 8 servings, and if you're only getting 1 or 2, that's not enough. 1 or 2 is not enough. Work your way up. I'm not saying go one or two all the way up to 8. Your gut's going to be like, whoa. But go from 1 or 2 to 3, then go to 4, work your way up. Try to get yourself up to 5 servings a day. Spread them out, like one at breakfast, 2 at lunch, 2 at dinner, or maybe a snack. But you also want to make sure that you're choosing more vegetables than fruit, to keep sugar intake low while also maximizing your fiber and nutrient density. So again, I'm not saying no fruit, just more veggies than fruit. Okay, enjoy your healthy fats. So again, we talked about how your brain, the solid part of your brain is 60% fat. So your brain needs fat. It needs healthy fats to function. And these come from avocados and nuts, seeds, fatty fish, grass-fed beef, healthy oils like olive, not cotton, coconut. I almost said cotton something. Coconut, avocado. Um, they can help build your brain cells and support neuron communication. Omega-3 fatty acids in fatty fish and flax seeds reduce inflammation and boost memory, focus, and mood. These fats aid your hormone production, ladies, including stress regulating and mood enhancing hormones like cortisol and serotonin. Including healthy fats can help stabilize your blood sugar and help prevent brain fog and mood swings. Of course, you want to avoid trans fats and excessive saturated fat, which can then increase inflammation and can harm cognitive health. Eat high quality protein at every meal or every time you're eating. So even your snacks, try to include some sort of high quality protein. Protein is essential to your brain as well. So we need the antioxidants from our vegetables and fruits and the nutrients. We need the healthy fats. We need the protein. Protein provides building blocks for your transmitters. Eating high quality protein at every meal helps maintain steady blood sugar and prevents energy crashes. Protein supports the production of dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that influence happiness and motivation. Including protein regularly helps preserve muscle mass, which is important for overall health and brain function. We need muscle mass as we grow. As we age, sorry, not as we grow, as we age, because as we age, we're going to lose it, we're going to fall, we're going to get hurt. We need muscles. And so in order to have muscles, you need protein. Choosing high quality protein reduces inflammation, compared to processed or low quality or conventional sources. So I recommend that you opt for organic, free range, grass fed, wild caught, or plant-based proteins whenever possible. This will help minimize exposure to chemicals, hormones, and antibiotics that they feed the animals, especially. And it supports better nutrition. These options actually are better for you nutritionally. Okay, opt for nutrient dense, high fiber, low glycemic carbohydrates. So carbohydrates aren't bad. At one time we were taught that carbohydrates are bad. They are not bad. They are essential. They do provide us energy. However, certain types of carbs are much healthier than others. So we want to choose nutrient dense. So carbs full of nutrients like you find in vegetables, right? We want to choose carbs that are full of fiber. That slows digestion, it helps to maintain steady blood sugar, and it prevents energy crashes and mood swings. We want to find carbohydrates that are low glycemic, that aren't going to spike our blood sugar. Again, let's talk about the fruit for a second. Yes, we want to be eating fruit, but be aware of which fruits are higher glycemic and which foods are lower glycemic, so that we're not spiking our blood sugar all the time. These carbs support gut health by feeding beneficial gut bacteria, which in turn positively influence the brain through the gut-brain axis. We want to avoid refined and processed carbs, like from regular bread or from even just plain white rice, that cause blood sugar spikes and inflammation, which can impair cognitive function over time. Okay, let's spice it up, ladies. So your healthy nutritious food, it does not have to be boring. And it does not have to be bland. Season your food generously. Lots of seasons, herbs and spices, because they make your food delicious, more delicious. Once you get rid of all that sugar and processed foods, God's natural whole foods will taste better. But these seasonings and these herbs can make it taste even better. But they also give your brain a powerful boost. Let's talk about salt for a second. Salt isn't the problem. So many people tell us to have low salt, no salt, right? And if you eat a lot of processed foods, if you eat a lot out, then you are getting a lot of salt. And you're getting a lot of the wrong kind of salt. But really in the blood pressure world, it's actually sugar that's the problem, not the salt. Sugar causes your body to hold on to the salt as instead of getting rid of it, right? Or using it the way it's supposed to. So in fact, salt is actually essential. Good quality mineral rich salt is essential for your health. Um, so sea salt, pink Himalayan salt, they can actually support brain function. Black pepper, turmeric, rosemary, thyme, sage, cinnamon, garlic, oregano, ginger, cayenne, they all have brain boosting benefits. Eat for your unique brain type. Did you know that there's actually 16 different types of brains? And each type can benefit from eating a certain way. So understanding what your brain type is can help you choose, like, how much protein you need, or how much carbohydrates you need, or how much healthy fats. Do you need a more balanced approach? Some brain types thrive on high protein, others on more healthy fats, and some actually, on more complex carbohydrates. So there's not a one size fits all. So I'm not going to sit here and tell everybody you need to eat this much of this and this much of that and this much of this, because it really depends on each person's brain. But I can point you to a quiz. It's at www.brainhealthassessment.com. You take a quiz that has some questions, and then they will send you an email with your brain type from the other questions, and then what they recommend you eat. And it is put out by the Amen Clinics, which is Dr. Daniel Amen is the one who created the Amen Clinics. And if you know me, you know who Dr. Daniel Amen is. So, and personalizing your nutrition can help you with your own personal symptoms. You also want to address personal brain health issues. So if you have a brain health issue like anxiety or depression or ADHD or dementia or addictions or sleep problems, there are foods for each of those that can help with specifically those issues. And you can start including some of those specific foods to help with those specific issues. So on this page, which I'm not going to read to you right now, but I have a list of these brain health issues with foods that can benefit you. So when you get the PowerPoint, you can go to this page and look at it. Okay, we also want to supplement our brain. And you're like, well, if I'm eating healthy, why do I need to supplement? Unfortunately, most people are nutrient deficient, even those who are eating healthy. And this is due mostly because of the way that we've depleted our soils, the way that modern farming takes place, the way that we ship and store things, and just our unhealthy habits. Over 90%, 95% of people in America are deficient in omega-3s. And I think vitamin D, I think it's in the 90 percentage as well. And magnesium is in the 50 percentage. And these are key nutrients for your brain. So, I recommend that anyone I work with do a really high quality multivitamin, but that also you make sure you're taking omega-3s, vitamin D, and magnesium for your brain. But then, of course, if you have your own specific brain type or brain health issues, there may be other supplements that you may need. But it's so, so important to remember that supplements are not magic pills. And they aren't to take the place of healthy nutrition and healthy habits. So it's not, I'm going to keep eating my crap and then just take some vitamins. No, you need to have healthy habits and healthy nutrition, and then these supplements are supposed to help aid, and it's literally in the name of it, supplement your nutrition. Okay. Supercharge your brain with fasting. So, fasting is a spiritual practice that many of us have heard of, but there's actually some really good brain health benefits to it as well. So, fasting can increase BDNF, which is a key protein that supports learning, memory, and overall brain resilience. Fasting helps regulate blood sugar and insulin, and it stabilizes mood and prevents fog. Spiritually, fasting can strengthen your self-control, increasing sensitivity to the Holy Spirit and help renew your mind. I really recommend two types of fasting, and you can do one or the other. You can try them both, whatever, you try it out. If you want to try fasting, message me privately. It's something I do, and I can help you kind of get into it because it can be hard if you jump into it. But intermittent fasting, where you go like 12 hours on and 12 hours off, or 14 hours eating or not eating, 10 hours eating, or 16/8. That gives your brain a break from constant digestion, improves focus, clarity, and energy. I do that daily, and my brain, from when I wake up till when I eat, between sometimes I'll eat anywhere between 12 and 2. It's literally supercharged. Like, I am so much more focused. I get so much more done. I'm so much more efficient. And then when I eat, it just slows down a little bit. So I really feel that supercharge in the morning. And then weekly 24-hour fasts can also really be beneficial to your brain. They can reduce inflammation, promote autophagy, and enhance mental clarity. And I find I also do 24-hour fasts. God called me to do them spiritually. But they have really good, I feel the difference in my brain and my body as well. So you can try that out. Okay, last principle is embrace a sustainable lifestyle. So this is not a diet. Okay, we're not trying to create another diet. We want to seek God's guidance on how He wants you to honor Him through your body, your nutrition, your eating habits, and your daily choices. I don't want you to do anything because I'm telling you to do it today. I want you to do things because God is leading you to them. So it's important that you pray and you seek God and you listen to him. So that means you have to slow down. That means you have to be quiet. And you can journal while listening, but listen to what he's speaking. He may also be nudging you, or you may feel a certain way while I'm talking about something, right? That could be the Holy Spirit. So seek his guidance in this. Ditch the diets, stop chasing quick fixes. They're not going to lead to lasting change. Focus on progress, not perfection. So we're not focusing on doing all of these things 100% of the time, right? We are a work in progress. We are not perfection right now. We are a work in progress. So focus on progress, and not perfection. It's built one habit, at a time. I also encourage you to focus on consistency, instead of perfection. So build a way of eating you enjoy and can maintain long term, not one you want to escape. And then I say create personal rules for life that help you stay consistent with your health goals. And I have been through I'm going through it twice, and it's called Practicing the Way. And towards the end of the book, it talks about rules of life. And he talks about rules of life for like your relationship with the Lord and drawing closer to God and living like Jesus. But I also think that we can use rules of life for our nutrition. So rules of life, they are like a schedule or a set of practices and rhythms, and they're not laws, right? A law is something that is not to be broken. Rules are to be broken sometimes, right? That it's okay to break them sometimes. So, again, work with the Lord to create rules for your life. Like one of my rules is I'm no longer going to eat gluten and dairy. I know that they are not good for me. I'm no longer going to have sugar. Now, one of the guidelines, or I've also thought about, okay, when would it be okay to break this rule? And for me, it's okay to break these rules if it is going to hinder someone else. Like if, someone's invited me to their house and they've really cooked a big meal, they didn't know and it would really hinder them, and they would think it would just hinder them and spiritually, especially, I would break that for that. And I'm praying about, you know, is my birthday an opportunity to break those rules? We'll see. I'm still praying about that. So create your own personal rules, but create them with the Lord. And then another thing that Dr. Daniel Amen really recommends, he recommends that you find 24 foods. I don't know why 24 is the number, but find foods that really that you love, that love you back. And then build your meals around them. Like make them staples in your house. Like I love blueberries. I love I almost said salmon. But maybe salmon doesn't love me back. I love dark chocolate, right? Dairy-free, vegan, sugar, low sugar, dark chocolate. I love dark chocolate. I love broccoli. Yes, I do. I love sweet potatoes. Like, find 24 foods that you love, that you really like, and that they actually love you back. And then, kind of make them staples in your diet. Okay. I have a lot, and this is really, a lot of stuff. And so I hope that you're getting some good stuff. Before we go on, because I know we're in like the 5:50 mark. Um, are there any questions especially about the principles? Great. If there's no questions, I'll keep going. Okay, so I wanted to address some, because mindset when it comes to nutrition is a really big issue. And we have the foundation of going through my book, but I just wanted to address some common negative, self-sabotaging, God-limiting thoughts and beliefs. And not all of these are specifically about food. I actually went through and created and did these slides for another presentation a long time ago. So it's all about being healthy, though, in some way. So it will include some food stuff, but also other stuff about being healthy. So the first kind is the all or nothing. And so these kinds of thoughts and beliefs, it's when you see things only in black and white without recognizing shades of gray or middle ground. And it's characterized by extreme and polarized thinking. So some examples are, if I can't do it perfectly, there's no point in trying it at all. If I eat one bad thing, my entire diet is ruined. I might as well indulge for the rest of the day. If I don't reach my goal weight, my efforts are a complete failure. It's either all or nothing. And that is just not true. There is gray or middle ground. It is okay for progress. It is okay, if you don't do it perfectly. So it does not have to be all or nothing. Another type is focusing only on the negative. So this is selectively focusing on negative aspects of a situation while ignoring positive aspects. It leads to distorted perception of reality. Um, so like I didn't do all my healthy habits, so I'm doing a terrible job. You did most of them. You did some of them, but you think, "Oh, I'm doing a terrible job." I didn't drink enough water today. Ugh, I'm so bad. I always neglect my health. I had one unhealthy snack. My whole day is ruined. So really be aware of these. These again are not God-honoring thoughts. They are not helpful or not going to help you be successful. Another one is fortune telling. Fortune telling is when you predict negative outcomes without evidence. You expect the worst. And really it's not, it's because you don't know what's going to happen. It's not true. So, let's see. If I indulge in this treat, I'll ruin my diet completely, or I'll never meet my goal, something like that. I've plateaued this week. I'll never reach my weight loss goal. You don't know that you can't read the future. I missed my workout today. I'm going to gain weight and never get fit. These are fortune telling. It's predicting negative outcomes and you expecting the worst. Mind reading. Making assumptions about what others are thinking, usually assuming the worst. It leads to unnecessary worry and anxiety about others' opinions. My family is probably worried about my health because I forgot to drink enough water. Or people must be noticing my weight loss journey and they're probably judging me. Others at the gym must be judging me for not being as fit as them. Others in my community must think less of me because of my health condition. You can't read people's minds. And you're making assumptions, so it's not true necessarily. Guilt beatings. This is engaging in self-critical thoughts, blaming oneself excessively, and dwelling on past mistakes or perceived shortcomings. So you kind of label yourself, you beat yourself down in your thoughts. I have health issues. I have a health issue. I must have done something to deserve this. I didn't prioritize self-care. I'm selfish, neglecting my well-being. I forgot to drink water. I'm neglecting my health. I ate more than planned. I ruined my progress and I'll never lose weight. I gave into a craving. I'm a failure and I have no willpower. The next one is labeling, assigning negative labels to oneself or others based on behavior without considering the broader context, leads to harsh self-judgment and judgment of others. I can't stick to a diet. I'm just an undisciplined person. I bet we all have thought that or said that about ourselves, and it's not a God-honoring thought, and it's not helpful, and it's not productive, and it's not one that we should be thinking or that we want to think. I overindulged at dinner. I'm a total failure. Should statements. These are statements having rigid rules and expectations about how things should be or must be. When these expectations aren't met, it can lead to frustration and disappointment. I should be drinking a gallon of water every day. Anything less is insufficient. I should be losing more weight faster. I should never eat sweets or indulgent foods. What I recommend is finding an I want statement and linking it to the because. I want to eat these vegetables today because they will give me the antioxidants my brain needs. Or I want to choose brain healthy nutrition today to honor God with my body. So the I want statement instead of the I should statement, and then link it to why. Why do you want to do that? That's a much more powerful statement. Discounting the positive. Minimizing or dismissing positive experiences, achievements, or feedback contributes to a persistent negative mindset. So you did something really good, but you're not giving yourself credit for it. So I stayed hydrated, but it's probably just because it was hot outside. It's not because I actually tried to do it. Or I lost a few pounds, but it's not a big deal. That's just water weight. I resisted a dessert, but it's only because there wasn't really anything good. You did something good, positive, and you're not giving yourself credit. You're discounting the positive. Comparison to others. Constantly comparing oneself to others can lead to feelings of inadequacy and demotivation. My friend always has a water bottle with her. I'm failing because I can't keep mine with me. Or, my friend has a more toned body. I'll never be able to get that. Oh man, my partner, for us, our partners would be he's. My partner, he eats smaller portions than me. I must have no self-control. So you're comparing your journey with someone else's and wishing or wanting to be like them instead of seeking God. Fear of failure. Expecting and fearing failure can paralyze progress and prevent you from taking positive steps. I failed at this so many times, I'll just fail again. I forget to drink water. I'm so forgetful. I'll never be able to establish this routine or this habit. I won't try this new healthy recipe. What if it doesn't turn out well? I'd rather stick to what I know, even if it's not just the healthiest. Oh, I thought I was at the end. I still have some more. Instant gratification. Expecting instant results leads to impatience and a lack of commitment to long-term health goals. If I don't see immediate results, it's not worth the effort. The new fad diet promises rapid weight loss. I'll try it even though deep down I know it's not sustainable or healthy. If I don't see immediate changes on the scale, this is just not working. Another mindset that we want to avoid is avoidance of discomfort. So often discomfort is what brings change, right? And God doesn't tell us to shy away from discomfort. So avoiding discomfort or any challenge prevents you from embracing necessary changes for your health and well-being. And anyone who went through the Daniel fast, You went through discomfort, and I am so proud of you. So healthy eating and exercises are too uncomfortable. I'm not going to do them. Changing my lifestyle is uncomfortable. I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. Healthy foods don't taste good. I'll indulge in what feels good, even if it's not best for my brain. Overemphasis on appearance. Emphasizing appearance over glorifying God and above overall health neglects the importance of glorifying God and overall well-being and internal health. If I don't achieve a certain look, I'm not truly healthy. If I don't achieve a certain appearance, nothing else matters. Drinking enough water makes me look bloated, so I'm not going to do that. Um, I must reach a specific weight or body fat percentage to be attractive. I'm going to skip these nutritious foods because they might have more calories. Appearance is more important. I'll restrict my diet to look good in front of others. These are very dangerous thoughts and beliefs to have. Okay. Woo, we're coming to the end, ladies. We're coming to the end. And it's 6 o'clock. It's not, I'm doing okay. Okay, so and again, remember I'm going to send this, but here is just kind of a sample 7-day meal plan. Don't worry, the last days are on the next one. But for day one for breakfast, you could have avocado toast on sprouted grain bread or on gluten-free bread or on sourdough bread, depending on what's best for you, and an egg. Lunch would be, you could have a grilled salmon salad with leafy greens, olive oil, and lemon. Dinner, quinoa stuffed bell peppers with black beans and herbs. You could have walnuts and blueberries for a snack. I'm not going to read the whole 7 days because you all can read. But I will also, my goal is to get it done tonight. Yes, after this I'm going to work some more to put this in a document, the meal plan, the 7-day meal plan, and then recipes for the meal plans as well. So we have day 5, 6, and 7. Okay, so what does this 21-day challenge look like? Well, the purpose of the challenge is to honor God by doing your best to follow these 16 principles: progress and consistency over perfection. We are all in Voxer, so the goal is to check in regularly. It doesn't say daily, it doesn't say hourly, it doesn't say every other day, it just says regularly. So whatever that means to you, whatever works for your schedule. But don't, go the whole 21 days and then check in from the beginning and then the end. Try to check in regularly. To share photos, you can show photos of what you're eating for accountability, right? You can both give and receive encouragement. You can ask questions like, I need something quick to eat and I only have this, but what would be the best brain healthy, choice? Or I'm at the grocery store and I need help, ask questions. Or, um, you know, I'm at a restaurant and I have this, and this is the menu I have. What would be the best choice? And then you can also request prayer. Maybe you're really struggling with the mindset piece, or maybe, you're just feeling distant from the Lord and you need prayer. We are in this together and we're all here for each other. I do have a challenge. I'm going to try to do a challenge per week. So it's a challenge. This is kind of like homework, but I'm calling it a challenge. So the week one challenge is to really spend some time seeking God to develop your own nutrition rules for life and to create your own sustainable lifestyle. So it's something that you need to kind of like be able to write down, not just like some sort of something in your mind. I want you to kind of have a clear understanding of what these nutrition rules for life look like for you and what a sustainable lifestyle looks for you. So, I'll be talking or like asking about it throughout the week, and then, hopefully be getting some responses as well. Okay. Now we're at the question and answer. Woohoo! It's not that bad. It's only 6:04. I know that was a lot of information. Um, but that's why I will send this to you so that you can go back and refer to it. I will send this recording. Um, Please, though, let me know, what questions do you have? And and if I can't answer them, I will get back to you and answer them. But I'm praying that the Holy Spirit will help me answer them now.
I had a question about the supplements.
Yeah.
Um, I'm already taking omega-3 for my dry eyes, but the magnesium and the vitamin D are store brands okay? Or do we have
Thank
to
you for
buy
bringing that
some
up. Yeah.
fancy
I'm
name
not going to
brand?
tell you that you need fancy, but
Okay.
um getting it from the store, like from Walmart or
Mm-hmm.
most of the brands on the store shelf,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to say all, but most of them are not good quality. They
Okay.
they have fillers in them, so they
Mm-hmm.
have additional things in them that you don't necessarily want.
Mm-hmm.
And there is no governing body that makes sure that what they say is in them is actually in them.
Okay.
So they could say that they have 600 milligrams of vitamin D, and
Mm-hmm.
it could only have 200. And it could be just full of other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So what I do recommend is that you spend some time researching, or
Mm-hmm.
you find someone you trust, like me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, hopefully you trust me.
Yeah.
Or it's someone else, and or you do your own research and you find a company that you trust
Okay.
that has done the third party testing,
Mm-hmm.
that that doesn't have the fillers, that is proven themselves to be good quality supplements.
Okay.
Because, I mean, why we don't want to be spending money on these supplements and then not actually getting anything from them,
Right.
or even getting fillers, stuff that we don't want, which is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a waste of money.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good question. Any other questions? None? No questions? That means I did a good job.
Mhm.
Okay, if there are no other questions, then I'm going to stop sharing my screen. And um that's it for today.
Thanks for your time, Cindy.
You're welcome, Mirshad.
I
Yeah.
guess I don't have a question. I do have more of a comment, and sorry for the background noise. My
No,
kids
you're
are
fine. Go
confused.
ahead, Mirshad. I thought you
Um,
would have lots of questions, Mirshad.
maybe nah.
No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
Maybe along the way, but we'll see. No, I was just going to try to encourage everybody to, this is a lifetime process, right? It's not like a one time and done, or like she said, a diet or just a phase. But it is hard. Like, you have to diet ourselves daily spiritually, right? So I think it's also the same thing with this whole thing. Our mindset has to be like, okay, I messed up today, or in this moment, but this next moment, I'm asking God to strengthen me to get through this because um, it's hard and life happens and we get lots of interruptions and we get lots of temptations and invitations to, everything social is surrounded around food. So it is very, very difficult. But with this group and with Cindy, I have found because I've been involved in a couple of her groups already, it really does help with that accountability with the habit tracker, which by the way, I haven't done for the last 2 months, but trying to get on that system where you could truly like keep accountable with those people on a day-to-day basis is extremely helpful, and actually for me it is.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try to be very diligent in sharing. I do night shift and I do on call, and so my body it is going to be a little bit different of when I eat, and it changes every single week. But with that said, you may not see me every single day, but I will try to keep myself accountable and keep you guys accountable along with that. And I'll be praying for y'all.
Thank you, Mirshad. Thank you for that. And
Yeah,
you
no,
are
you
right.
too.
It's not easy. It's not easy. And we are tempted, and the enemy throws things at us left and right, and not just the enemy, the world, and then we have our own flesh, which wants what we want, and we know what we like and we know what we want. And, this is an opportunity to draw close to the Lord and to really, again, I want you to do things not because I've told you, not because a doctor has told you, not because not because of anything here on earth. I want you to do things because the Lord is directing you in that direction. Because he is showing you that your body is important, that he's placed your brain as the head of your body to be preeminent, and that he wants you to honor him with your brain and your body and to make it a living sacrifice. Because he knows that, you know, your brain is in charge of your feelings and your emotions and in charge of your, your habits and your relationships. So, yeah. Thank you, Mirshad. Anything else? Desmond has knocked on my door several times, so he's like, "Hello." But thank you for being here, Mirshad and Amy and Wendy. And if you are on watching this call and you have a question, please inbox her. Let me know. I would love to answer it for you. Have a good night, everyone.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.